Good evening, my friends, and a good evening it is indeed. It is April 2nd, 2019, a day that we will all remember in the price action of Bitcoin. What an amazing day this was. Oh man, just 4 minutes away from closing out our daily candles on just some tremendous Bitcoin and crypto across the board price action. Bitcoin breaking over 5,000 intraday on the Coinbase exchange. Unbelievable after breaking below it all the way back in November before Thanksgiving in America. And we have Bitcoin Cash just skyrocketing here over, almost 40% move here. As the stair step of increasing price action from the 150s to the 170s, and in a day's action here going from 170 to 240. Litecoin touching the heights of almost $80 after so short time ago, 3 months ago, being in the low 20s, just where Charlie Lee said it was going to be. And look at these volume spikes. I mean, on the dailies here, just haven't seen this volume since, last year. This is by far some of the biggest volume, if not the biggest we've had since the beginning of 2019 here. It looks like Litecoin's actually had some more. Ethereum here basically retesting our initial consistent areas of resistance. And these are the things that we are seeing as we close out our day here in Bitcoin. Now, these last two charts here, this is Bitcoin longs, this is Bitcoin shorts on Bitfinex. I have the I'm on the 12-hour in both of these because I want to give you guys a little context. So Bitcoin longs, okay, began to load into the pump. But a lot of this loading, actually, I'll take this down to like an hourly. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, a lot of this loading actually happened after most of our price action of the day actually took place. Now, this fuel for this Bitcoin move here was helped by this. It's a clear short squeeze. I was actually a little skeptical as to being able to obtain something of a squeeze with this low amount, relatively speaking, of course, of short contracts out on Bitcoin here. We were bottoming around 18,000 contracts, got as high as 20,000 contracts the last 3 days of March. And those people that took out shorts on Bitcoin's price actions, they got liquidated, as well as a couple others. So about $500 million I was seeing talking about out there. And of shorts were just liquidated. Just across the board there on MEX, and I'm sure it's quite an insane volume on Bitfinex. So the reason I want to bring up these here is because longs are loading into this. Shorts are also recovered a lot of that, and have also been loading into this bullish move here on Bitcoin as well. Basically starting to load into it when Bitcoin was over 5K. And it happened so quickly there. So we have just finished out the day. We can chalk that one in the books there. So let's start with Bitcoin here, and we'll kind of go around the board. Actually, I want to do that, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so a couple things I want to point out before I put some indicators up. Let's just take a look here at the broad chart. I am in logarithmic scale. I like using logarithmic scale when I am zoomed out. When you're zoomed in, it's not as effective, the differentiation between log and linear. Log is right down here, and if it gets out of whack, just hit auto and it will fix everything, especially if you have your Bollingers up. And let's just focus on the whole chart as a whole. And listen, since 2014, again, I'm on Coinbase. We don't really have to talk about, for now, pre-2014 price action. But what Coinbase does show is literally the bottom. Okay, which was basically January 1st of 2015. Around this Coinbase that's showing it got actually lower. It got to was 109 intraday, but really it was like 150 or so spot price of Bitcoin that did mark the low. And then 10 months, okay, 10 months of a ranging of Bitcoin. Okay, very tight range. That's still almost double the Bitcoin price. But before the parabolic move began that brought us all the way to Bitcoin 20K, there was basically a second tap of a lower area, but still putting in that higher low. So fast forward through today here, and what do we have here? We basically have, if we're comparing the 2014 fractal, and we're using our current low of 3150-ish, being in as such, and then we fast forward December, January, February, March, April, basically, a little more than halfway through what the 10 months, remember it was 10 months here, it was January to August, second dip, and then the rip brought us into November there, and we never kind of looked back. For this to happen quicker, you could argue, in this potential bottoming pattern of Bitcoin here, in terms of this being the point where Bitcoin will go no lower than $4,900 or $4,800, $4,700 is not realistic at this point. We can definitely go higher, but there will be a pullback in this, and when that pullback happens, that's kind of the moment where the market has to decide, is that pullback a great re-entry and or entry period if you feel you missed this move here, or is it just kind of a stair step down there, or is literally the low in. Now, I still feel that even with this volume, even with this price action, even with this move, we have so much we need to correct and to kind of allow to cool off, even as we're drifting higher as the new day begins. Now, I want to still stick with my daily chart here. I just want to kind of talk about a couple indicators and where we are in relation to those. Again, tight Bollinger spectrum on the daily chart here. Okay, now we're recording our first close above upper Bollinger. Upper Bollinger is around $4,600 here. So that's on our daily. We have closed out our daily RSI at 88. Zoom back here to the times we were at and or above 88, December of 2017. Kind of actually marked our top, right? This is Bitcoin 20K right here. Right here. This is Bitcoin 20K. And we're kind of just a hair under it in terms of how voracious our daily RSI is right here. And remember, when this peaked, okay, this was like a needle top. You know, we have a very quick, other than back in 2016, of course, we have recent, very quick rejections up in these areas, and now we're much higher than we've been over a year and such, basically since our Bitcoin 20K. Our daily stochastic, like our weekly now, look at that. So very top of the screen, look right up here, people. We have the blue leader at 100, the orange, trailing at 99.6. So we are a little bit below on our leader here, but we're at a point where both on our daily and our weekly now have topped off stochastics in this incredibly bullish sense here we have in Bitcoin here. Daily MACD, okay, for the first time we're actually beginning to spread. Come on. There we go. Bring it up. We're actually really found that spread out that we've been talking about on the past several shows here, waiting for that break. There it is, and now we have a higher low on our fan out here, and just as apparently I do have some artwork here, just as looking this is as a whole here, I just want to bring up there we go. And is there some sort of a notable rising channel of resistance here, and we are a little bit more running room here, but very close to that triple test of this current rising channel. So we'll leave that there. We also have a lower channel of support we have confirmed here as well. So any rejection here, we will look for consistency to find support down here, which I will make green as support and red as resistance. So we'll keep this in mind on our daily MACD chart. Very strong as well. Good Lord. We are in day 45 here of our on-balance volume oscillator, doubling our previous bullish move here, and in a territory from a time horizon about 10 days prior to this very bullish price action we had here in May of 2017, we did almost 55 bars of above the zero line bullish price action. We've done other areas that have been, 2-3 weeks, but we eventually do come down and reset that OBV when the major profit taking sell-off occurs, and we are basically 45 days into this massive bullishness here with, let's face it, some decent support running room here, or at least support before we fade through. TDI, this has been a very accurate chart here. What we've been watching for is, listen, our green has been breaking through our upper Bollinger significant times. We've been finding middle BB support with both our indicators. This was our last break of our middle Bollinger on our green indicator, but our red trailer never broke it. Maintained that middle BB support all the way, and rarely does it like to break our upper Bollinger, and it's right there. Okay, so listen, this thing is just cranking strong, but we also keep note of the spacing between when we're again on the bullish side and the bearish side of how high up the green indicator is from the red. And right now we are as high separated as we've been on the daily here in just gonna go way back here, maybe right here. Oh, look at that, the very Bitcoin top there where the green was yay separated from the red. We are almost, feels like we're almost surpassing that. So this is just tremendous short-term move of Bitcoin has pushed and has fanned out our moving average here in just a tremendous way. Our on-balance volume, now this has been kind of, out of all the indicators I like to look at, this has been the one that has given the cleanest example of bullish consistency on this Bitcoin move, putting in higher highs, days before Bitcoin was able to, having a lower channel, breaking into an upper channel, and then just busting out of that, breaking through this resistance area, here, and then testing this next resistance area here, and freaking breaking through that. So now I raise this up, and now we are in, again, an interesting zone here. This zone, and especially exactly right here, did represent our last area of support before we fell through it and it became resistance. So this back test, and we're actually just like a hair above it right now, to tell you the truth. Again, daily, intraday here. At least we closed above it, looks like. That is right there. And this is kind of our last area. If we break through this and kind of close through this, especially this next area here, then that higher high is totally achieved in a way that would represent Bitcoin potentially able to, break into the 5Ks and then some. Because this area here, testing the OBV here, that this was OBV Bitcoin at 5K. Sorry, at 6K. Above 6K OBV was right here. Let me... this was 6K Bitcoin price action here. Oops, because that was very important. Let's untext wrap that for a second there. Okay, so right there, this is Bitcoin OBV. Okay, pre-November dump. This is October's price action. And yet here, when we're not that far from it, okay, we're still under 5K. This is under 5K right here. We'll make that a little smaller. Okay, so if this keeps going up, the OBV just a little higher here, this represents the chance that Bitcoin in this move here, potentially does have the oomph in this bullishness to kind of retest where we broke down bearish. And listen, I've been talking about this indicator, the TDV, total dollar volume, over several, a couple of weeks now, I think. because I've been watching to see when is real money come into the market. And let's face it here. Do you see this candle here? I mean, we can't ignore this now. Nothing up to this day was kind of knocking my socks off. And if you look at this cluster here, this cluster of green, that was our Bitcoin, for now, current bottom of 3150. This is 3150 to 4250 money flow. This is 4250 to 5250 money flow. Wow. Think about that for a second. I do that. 3150 through 4250. Isn't that where we topped off? Or did we even get to 44 there even? It was 44. And for now, this daily money flow here, because really when we busted through 4150, it was off to the races to, I can't believe I'm right, it's 5150, you know. So now we have a sense of what this can be like on the bullish side. Remember, this is what it can be like on the bearish side, you know, early November here when we actually broke the 6K. This is basically, yeah, actually I should write that too, because this is basically, you know, what was that? That was like 62.50 to basically, you know, 52.50, right? And then the final fall from 52.50 to blah, blah, blah kind of happened in this cluster here. Okay, so this gives us a sense. And still in comparison here, we need, you know, if we're going to have the bearish move here, then ideally we will want to see follow up, follow up, follow up. You know, we want to see kind of days of this. We want to see back to back to back continuous money flow, you know, coming into Bitcoin, organically coming into Bitcoin, pushing it again over 5K. Last chart here I want to look at, this is the NVT, kind of a new chart I've been watching here. A couple people have been brought to my attention in terms of what this represents. Is and I really should get this more down, but it's transactions based on a 90-day rolling average, and ideally what this has shown, all these red peaks, and then our green dip here. This happened to be that really nasty dip of Bitcoin to 6K, 5,800 on Coinbase before it bounced to 12K. This has been very accurate in showing a very clean bottom and very clean top. Now our tops can take time. We have all of December 17 here. This was Bitcoin 20K. These represented the Bitcoin bullish spikes we had in, you know, April and July and August and end of September. And then that last little push there, and then everything kind of fell apart there. So we just got back ourselves into this red, which doesn't necessarily mean we fall off the cliff tomorrow, but we are once again in an area here that, and again, from even just the height of this, okay, we're not that far off. We're at what, 168, and the peak Bitcoin 20K, Bitcoin, what was this? This was our top off here at what, 9,000 when we bounced here. I mean, these were 180, and we're right at 168 there. So a little bit more before we peak out here. And these have been very accurate to represent our tops. And notice on our bottom currently, we didn't get this neon green here like we have on several very interesting buy areas. Notice this was our bottom in 2014. This was our this was the after dip, because this was the actual second dip. This was after that move there with a sell-off. And so when this gets very low, these are actually good buying opportunities. And you actually see we actually put in a much higher low here than several previous moves here, which does suggest one of two things. Either this uptrend here of bullishness is actually accelerating, and or there's a lower low still yet to be achieved in this move here. Something to think about. All right, so let's go back to why we've currently stopped where we stopped. Talked about this a little bit earlier on my Bitcoin Live broadcast, and trying to figure out, you know, specifically why we were trying to figure out, you know, there's a couple reasons. I want to get rid of my Bollingers for just a moment here. I'm still on the daily chart. Actually, I can go to a higher time frame here. It might make it a little clearer to take a look at. All right, so we got a couple things going on here. We have an extension of our initial impulsive wave, one, come back to 3,300, extend to a 1.618 extension of our initial impulsive wave. Very nice place to find resistance. Also a measured move, and I'll get rid of this for just a moment here, a measured move from this inverse head and shoulders, which is so far confirmed by the exact measured move from our head to our neckline, is this red line here. And that is literally where we wicked out on our move here, where we have found our resistance. Now, this was log, right? Yep. Auto that. And we have also broken through our logarithmic near-term resistance as well. You can see we were having resistance line, and that was a tweet I put out actually like yesterday about it had yet to be broken as linears was broken a couple days ago, or last week at least. So we've completed a move from the inverse head and shoulders that end up exactly on a head to neckline extension. A 1.618 extension of the initial impulsive wave could signal a completion of the current impulsive move, with any correction needing to hold above the 4,200 area for a bullish continuation overall. That 4,200 area represents basically our confirmed neckline. Now, this about the window here. The window for limited price action between 4,300 and 5,100 allowed the price to move so fast through this zone that we saw this rise and fall bullishly and bearishly in this area many times. So what we're talking about there? Well, let's hide this. Let's pull up our VPVR. And the reason that our VPVR is very helpful here is, let's kind of find what we're talking about here. Actually, I want to incorporate kind of just, okay. So I want to really just focus specifically on the price action from 3K, to around $4,200–4,300 here. This time period in Bitcoin, and we're just using the start of around $3,000 Bitcoin, where we broke through it here basically July of 17, fell back a little bit below, came back up, back tested right to 3K, and then skyrocket up to that final leg there, has produced the most from 3K to 20K, has produced the most dollar volume money flow in this area, basically $3,600 to $4,300. Above that is this window, because of the quickness we move bullishly through 4,200 all the way up to about 5,200. It's $1,000 move. It's like a 22% move in Bitcoin's price action that we just blasted through super quickly here, in the matter of like a week. This is the 3 days. So this was like 1, 2, 3, 4 3-day candles there. We broke bearishly through it on this 3-day candle here, $5,400 down to $4,200. Okay, like so fast, like a hot knife through butter. And we blasted up bullishly through it once again, because the window, the lack of dollar volume, the lack of money flow has created this void where the Bitcoin price action can move very freely through this area. And therefore, you combine that with shorts being a little over leveraged in the moment, and you could liquidate $500 million. You could basically, those that were shorting this resistance test one more time, combined with the fact that if the bulls could just break through the neckline of $4,200, maybe even $4,300, then shorts who basically had their stop losses at that neckline break would be forced to liquidate, and because of that move would have to market buy. And that's basically what opened the floods and basically turned on the afterburner jets. And a ton of money that was short had to cover. And that's where all that money came in today, flowing into Bitcoin and blasting this thing so quickly in the matter of, what, it was like an hour candle, right? In 1 hour, we went from $4,200 to $4,800, and then the next hour, we basically went from $4,600 to $5,100. This was a 2-hour period of tremendous volume. And now, the day after, we're coming back and we're regaining a lot of yesterday's wick. Currently, Bitcoin going up to 49.35 here. So let's back out. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. Yes. And let's check in on our friends here. Holy crap, Bitcoin Cash 260. Oh my God. Ethereum 167 and rising. Now look at our longs here. Our longs here have actually cooled off, and so have our shorts. Litecoin still hovering sub 80 here. Let me pull up the old skip of a rule here. Oh, I'm still in the shorts here. So what seems to be getting frothy here? Look at VSV shorts have just risen 70%. Wow, in the past 20 minutes, Bitcoin SV shorts have risen 70%. So that's something. And everything else seems more or less just kind of chilling around here. So let's get that back onto Bitcoin longs there. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. Bitcoin, let's get a little lower time frame here. We'll keep up the other charts here. Man, Bitcoin Cash, look, I'm just from a percentage standpoint here. I mean, the 2-day of Bitcoin Cash is up almost $100. It's almost up 60% now in 2 days. That's the move right there so far. That's one of the big winners, if not the big winner here. Litecoin again retesting the top of that range there. Oh, so much to look at. All right, so let's go back to Bitcoin here. Let's do that. Keep an eye on this here for just a moment. Oops. Stick on the 15-minute chart here. Screw the VPVR. I want to just keep note of so whenever we have moves like this, I pull out my EMA 12, EMA 26, and I just keep note of how we're bullishly spreading. How, let's see, did we even touch them on the hourly? Look at that. See, we're using hourly EMA 12 support. We bounced here, and we're going one more time higher, still spreading here. We haven't even touched our EMA 26 on our hourly chart here. Shows really how strong Bitcoin currently is here, and our volume has actually been increasing when we have our hourly spikes here. Again, we're only 24 minutes into the day here. Okay, it's still very early into the day, but starting the day off, the first 20, might as well stick with the 15-minute. Actually, well, daily, because then we can really show you how much of yesterday's wick we're trying to get back here. Now remember, we've already established an upper wick from yesterday. It's about $200 here. It's little comparatively from a percentage standpoint as well, but we've already established that. So we'll keep an eye, because listen, this guy closed strong. I mean, if we had closed down in the 46s or 45s, that would be a little but the fact that we closed very much toward the top of our upper wick there on our Bitcoin price action, and I'm starting the day strong here, is definitely notable with good volume. Whew. All right, let's check out what's going on in the chat room. 124 of my closest friends watching me tonight. Oh, I got some tips here. Little Chonis, my man. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my buddy. Tonlo King Zulu, Bala Serbanian Kanan, hello from Bala. What's up, Floyd, Paul L, Iruzum, Hugo, what's up, Luke? Brad Anderson, you're welcome, my friend. What's up, Luke? Yeah, Brad, Erasium, Kyle, Hero Space. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. Dalen Scott, my 2 cents. SS Swartz, once again, good to see you. Crypto Dopamine. Yeah, that's a good question. What the F is going on? Mr. Santor. Okay, what you said there. Crypto Squatch, what's up, my brother? Josh McLean. Yeah, that's a great question. Is it going to be the biggest bull trap ever, or are we about to moon? Brian C, Jin Lee, Hero Space. Chad's calling me. Libyan Life, what's up, Rob? Trix Nathan, Benjamin Taff, Matt Kane. What's going on, guys? 123 of my closest friends. Got 123 thumbs up. What do you say? If you're watching right now, just do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Remember to hit that subscribe as well. We've got 124 watching, only 21 thumbs up. Let's get on to it there. Whoa, Bitcoin. All right, so are we blasting to 5K once again here? Remember, I bet you the shorts started to load when the 5K broke. That's where we saw them on the time horizon beginning to load up on the chart there. So the shorts that loaded into the upper wick here and this pullback are basically right back to even here as we're flirting once again, geez, with Bitcoin at 5K. Whoa, Bitcoin Cash, $300. Are we really kind of fill the gap here? Remember, this was this gap here. Let's go to this thing here because this thing is just unreal right now. Wow. Wow. I mean, I am blown away. So listen, this thing. All right, let's do some analysis here. Cheds, I'm live. I'm live, man.
What, live?
I'm on live.
Good luck.
Peace. As Chad's just saying, what the heck is going on? Yeah, so listen, so now we have, I literally just drew this. Now we are up 78% here, 82% in a day and an hour of Bitcoin Cash here. Let's pull up our triple MAs, and we've already broken through we just broke through our 200 on the daily here. Where are we on the weekly? Still below the 50 here, which coincides with that. But the biggest thing now as we are as high as we are here, and is this gap here that's all the way up to 384. That represents the break when Bitcoin Cash split into two. So unbelievable move here. And what I just have to see, what is our extension? So we have just hit a to the, oh wow, is that to the penny? Right there. We've just hit a 1, 2, 3, 6 extension of our initial impulsive wave here of Bitcoin Cash, broken through a 1-to-1 extension at, did we hit $300? High 298, unfreaking believable. Bitcoin still under 5K. We'll keep an eye on that. So Bitcoin Cash just explosive throughout the day. Litecoin $84. Good grief. Again, blasting through the start of today. And when we go back from again a time horizon here and see where was the resistances, 76 busted through that, 69 busted through that. 90, I mean, is Litecoin going to hit $100? I mean, are we really going to hit $100 on Litecoin here? Remember how much $100, $108 was defend, and now break? I can't, and now $84 of Litecoin. Unbelievable here. Just an explosive start to today, putting in a higher high than yesterday's price action. And Ethereum, don't forget Ethereum, right? Breaking the neckline here. We are breaking through our neckline. This one was taking a little longer. But every pullback was bought up, and higher and higher she went. We now have a higher high. We officially have broken through a higher high intraday in Litecoin here at the 170 area. And okay. and still very strong here as we start the day. Volume's tough to read because we're so early in the day here, but you got to ask yourself, if you've been long these coins here, especially Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin here, Ethereum, when do some of the big people start taking some of the major profits off the table here? I mean, these have been tremendous gainers in a very short amount of time here. 80% moves in a 24-hour period. Again, this is why we are in crypto. This is why we watch and love crypto here. But to see these moves so high so quickly, you have to ask yourself, when do a lot of the big money begin to start scaling out some of their long positions and taking some of the money off the table? Or are they convinced that this thing is just the beginning of this rep here, as Bitcoin is still trying to get back over to 5K? Let's take a look in the Zoom here. Let's pull up our RSI here and see what it's doing. Let's do this. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, there we go. Come on, dude. All right, yeah, see, watch for, so this is 15 minute, this is 15 minute. And we're watching our RSI on our 15 minute, just put that higher low in there. There we go. Still very strong. I mean, just still very strong. Let's see here. So we got a little bit of pullback on Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. I mean, again, when you're this high, there we go. But I mean, every little pullback across the board here has been consistently bought up. Come on, I'm working my computer overtime here. Still very strong. So let's just go to let's go to the 15 minutes now across the board and just watch to see what kind of a pullback, if any, we're getting from this latest advance here, busting through tremendous areas here. And remember, when I look at this, I want to start focusing on, our near-term EMA support, 12 and 26. We can start with the 15-minute chart. We are still way above on Bitcoin Cash. On Litecoin here, we are still way above 26. And these will, because looking on Litecoin how the EMA 12 support came back, support, bounce. So just ride the EMA 12 up on the 15 minute and keep holding that, and you're just doing fine. You lose the 12 and then don't worry about it. You got the 26 right behind it there, ready to just kind of hold out. Remember, guys, we're only 35 minutes into today, okay? It can be possible that we've topped out for the day, being so bullish so early in the day here. So here's the wiggle. This is the first wiggle here. Okay, we're still sub 5K, and we're still seeing if we can hold just below 5. I can't believe I'm still saying 5K, but we are there, people. We are right at 5K. Unbelievable. Just an amazing day of Bitcoin price action here. Amazing day, and then we kind of we got back a lot of anything we pulled back yesterday and then some. And not just, the majors here, this has been percolating across the board. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Sorry for the quick flash here. Sorry, let's go black here. My apologies for the bright light. Bitcoin dominance 50.3. So Bitcoin actually lost dominance in today's price action. 24-hour volume 78 billion. Tremendous crypto volume today. Bitcoin volume 22 billion. Tremendous Bitcoin volume today. Look at that. A month, all of March, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 21, 22. Good grief. Just tremendous volume. Pushed the market cap up $12 billion. And the bulls are fighting. The bulls are fighting. We're basically within just $100 there. But on these lower time frames, we keep in mind, oh, look at that. Bitcoin, the CME actually did break 5K. It's interesting. Wow. So we did have contracts opened at 5K on CME. Okay, now until the EMA 12, which is our little pink guy here, until this breaks support, okay, the bulls still have control in this move here. That goes with Bitcoin Cash, that goes with Litecoin, it goes with Bitcoin, it goes with Ethereum. This is how I'd be watching this thing and seeing that the 12 maintains support. Let's get rid. Let's say look at just real quick here. Shorts, longs are still strong. Shorts really haven't really changed much of their presence. They did end the day yesterday, top of day, right there. I'm fading. It's my fourth show of the day today. Jeep. Yeah, look at that Bitcoin SV. Wow, Bitcoin SV hit 90. That was a 30% rise in the past 2 days there. Just unbelievable. Litecoin. All right, so, a little bit of a pullback here. But again, all in the 15-minute charts here. 15-minute. These are still very low time frames. We are still above our EMA 12 support. Just incredible. Let's go back to Litecoin for a second here. Now, let's see, where are we hitting? Just going to bring up my MAs here. Are we hitting any MAs? I know it wouldn't even be anything into the weekly chart. So look at that. MA 100 is still at 86. Okay, just a hair under it there. Okay, the MA 100 did act as support here on the weekly before we broke through down to 72 there. On the monthly, just nothing on the monthly. What are Bollingers? Oh, middle BB in the monthly is at 88. That's actually notable. Look at our middle Bollinger on the monthly. Support, resistance. This is in itself is a back test. $88, $89. I cannot see, even though Litecoin is all out freaking strong here, Litecoin being able to break the middle Bollinger on the monthly chart on the first attempt. I would just be shocked by more than this little bit of a wick here. I just can't see how Litecoin breaks 90 to 93. I just can't see how it gets any higher than that. I really can't. And note that where we are right now does correspond to these areas back here when we were breaking bullish, especially right here. Found support, found resistance at 85, found support at 85, broke a few bucks higher than that. Remember, this is April's candle. This is 28 days worth of price action here. This candle here, this is 31 days of price action here. This is 2 days of price action here. 28, 31, 2. Okay, in 2 days, we basically eclipsed 2 months of price action. Unfriggin' believable. Litecoin. Weekly RSI. Whew. Weekly RSI 68. Just a hair below 70, which has been historic support and resistance. You know, everything is pointing to 90. Look at that. Stochastic there. Super strong on the weekly, but super toppy as well. Unbelievable. But again, I don't see how the Litecoin gets significantly through the MA 100 on the weekly or the middle Bollinger on the monthly, both at around $88, $89. Those two areas seem like tremendous resistance on these highest of time frames. Let's go back here, Bitcoin. Okay, so we're watching this wick here. Again, this is the 15 minutes. Still haven't touched our EMA 12 on the 15 minutes. Still very strong here. Okay, this wick is trying to get bought up. 2 minutes left to go in this candle here. We're trying to see how strong it can actually be. Let's see here. Yeah, Kyle mentions the the TD9s here. Let's bring those up. On the weekly, okay, on the 15 minute. Let's see, we must be very high here. I mean, look at this thing. This is our 4 hour. We have an aggressive 13 on the 4 hour. Okay, this is an aggressive 13 on the 4 hour candle. This is a almost a 13 on the 6 hour candle. There were a 6 on the 12. We're now at an 8 on the daily. Still mid channel on the 2 and the 9 on the 3 day. But remember, this doesn't close. We still got another day of this 3 day price action. And the weekly, we still have another 4 days of the weekly here. So we're hitting 9s on the weekly, the 3 day. And then on our lower time frame, 6 and 4, we are bleeding 9, especially our 4 hour. When was the last time we had an aggressive 13 on the 4 hour? Bullishly. And to be this high above our EMAs here, I mean, just is tremendous here. So what do we got here? Wow, 50 minutes flies by so fast. All right, I've talked for more hours than I can remember here. Just an unbelievable day here for Bitcoin. Let's just, let's give it to them. This look at the market cap. Oh, let's go back to CoinMarketCap. Look at this, just across the board here. Look at these charts. It makes the past month the price action almost irrelevant. To see this, every chart's a hockey stick, hockey stick, hockey stick, hockey stick, hockey stick. This is Tether, which is supposed to be at $1. It's actually over $1 now. Hockey stick, hockey stick, hockey stick, hockey stick. Everything is a freaking hockey stick across the board. This is a stable coin. Is anything not going with this trend here? Ravencoin is still just off, but we know what happened to Ravencoin the past month there. Biggest winner of all actually has been Ravencoin over the past 3 months. Every chart, I'm up to top 50 coins here. Huobi token, that's fading. Huobi token is fading. Engine, wasn't this the one earlier in the month that pumped? So we've got a couple here, couple laggards up in the 60s. But everything else here, I mean, look at just still very strong across the board. We've not seen this for such a long time in crypto, just across the board expansion. Basically, if you have your money in crypto, you were very well rewarded pretty much across the board in yesterday's price action. Just tremendous move here. And more importantly, the volume. Look at Tether, 23 billion, Bitcoin, 22 billion, ETH, 10 billion, EOS and Litecoin tied with around 4 billion, Ripple, 2 billion. Who are they? Bitcoin Cash, 2 billion. And then we actually fall off decently there. Only in the high hundreds of billions, right? Only in the high hundreds of billions. So just a tremendous move there. Listen, I mean, all I can say is that even on the higher time frames here, we have, RSI on the daily, 87. We are wicked out on lower time frames here. We're actually starting to see a little bit of a curve around, a little bit of a slowdown, a little lower high in the RSI on the 6 hour with a higher high in our price action here. Oops. And we are also seeing our Stoke bearish here on the 6 hour. Beginning to lose momentum. We actually crossed bullishly on the 4. It's still very strong on the hourly. But short term here, we're losing a little momentum. Who cares about the 5 minute? Look at the 5 minute. Don't look at the 5 minute. But starting on the 15 minute here, we're losing momentum. And we put in a higher high with a lower high in our stochastic here. Okay, so we're beginning to see, even as we're $50 away from freaking $5,000, on lower time frames, a little bit of wariness there. But Bitcoin is still yet to touch. Oops. Just the first area of support, which would be the EMA 12. And you see how these wicks are still being bought up. So until our EMA 12 gets touched, right around $4,900, and then potentially EMA 26 support around $4,850 to find those supports there. Still strong, but again, we are definitely off our highs now of the hour. Remember, guys, we're still only the first hour into our day here. Personally, being this bullish this early into the day, I'm always a little skeptical of. I've seen this in stocks, right out of the gate, super bullish, only to kind of fade in the day. Okay, but again, we're still looking to just touch on low time frames. 15 minutes is all I ask for. Let's touch our initial support areas, EMA 12, EMA 26. Okay, and see how the market reacts to that as these moving averages all day long have held support. I shouldn't say all day long, because on the 15 minute it actually broke, but I'm starting with the 15 because the hourly, we know where EMA 12 support is. Now EMA 26 here is at 46 and rising, but I'm going to stick with the 15 on the low time frames here, because for now these low time frame moving averages are still very strong, holding our support here of Bitcoin's price, as we are still trying to see if we can touch 5K again. But I mean, let's face it, either way, just a tremendous move here across the board. Tremendous day here. Memorable day in Bitcoin. We'll see if it's going to last. We'll go check in with everybody tomorrow. You guys have been great. 127 of my closest friends watching me past hour. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed this morning's broadcast at 2 a.m. and our early one there as well. Still seeing 51 thumbs up, 128 you guys watching. Remember to hit that thumbs up button. And we're going to follow on Twitter at Big Chonis. Follow on YouTube, chonistrading.com. We will keep you guys posted on this incredible price action of Bitcoin as the week progresses. But for now, I have to go to bed as we watch our near-term price action of Bitcoin. Until then, this is Big Chonis. You guys have been great. Thanks for being fans. Here's to the golden light. Stay tuned.